I'm much better now that the ladies are back from space.
It is. Wash for it. Wow.
You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
It's so cringy.
What were they up there, 10 minutes?
Whoever came up with this title, give this guy a freaking raise. Tell me how this is not awesome. Astronaut. Astronaut. God, this is so dumb.
South Park is sharpening their knives and Katy Perry is squarely in their sights after her Blue Origin spaceflight turned into a global punchline. Insiders say Trey Parker and Matt Stone are cooking up something devastating. Details are locked down tight, but a few hints that have leaked out they are brutal. This isn't just a joke at Katy's expense, it's a full-on assassination. What are they planning? Stick around, you won't believe how far they are willing to go.
She essentially took a roller coaster ride.
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
When Katy Perry boarded Blue Origin celebrity spaceflight, she probably thought it would be a career milestone, a bold moment she could brag about for years. Instead, it turned into a global meme. From the awkward footage to the brutal headlines, it felt like the entire internet decided to pile on. But just when things seemed to be dying down, South Park entered the chat. And trust me, when they get involved, the real storm is just beginning.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Bro.
Stop the cap. Stupid.
Let me tell you right now, Katy, you're officially an astronaut.
I guess I'm a freaking brain surgeon then. I couldn't believe. Wow, I can't believe she even said. How do you even format your lips to say something so stupid?
According to insider leaks from animation circles, Trey Parker and Matt Stone have zero intention of going easy on Katy. They're not planning a quick joke or background gag. They are building an entire storyline around her Blue Origin disaster. People close to production say it's being treated as a full-blown event episode. And if you know anything about South Park's history, those are the episodes that leave permanent scars.
However, there's been some critics saying some stuff in it.
Really?
Rob, I don't know if you have any of the critic stuff or not. Do you have any of the stuff on how they open a door first and then they have to reopen a door and they have to say, go back in there, and then Jeff Bezos falls. Poor guy's tripping. He's having a hard time.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Sources suggest that South Park isn't just roasting the space flight itself. They're going after the entire idea behind it, the obsession with celebrity first, the desperate PR stunts, and the fake inspirational speeches. It's all fair game. Katy's trip isn't just a punchline. It's being framed as a symbol of everything wrong with modern fame. And that's way more brutal than just making fun of her floating around in zero gravity.
Let's see how it went on board the Blue Origin spacecraft.
Katy Perry
with her daisy.
I got you.
Now, if you're wondering just how savage they are planning to be, buckle up. One leak mentioned a scene where a Katy-ite character tries to live stream her space achievement, only for the feed to glitch out and reveal how stays the whole thing really was. Another rumor hints that South Park will even drag Blue Origin itself, painting it as a budget amusement ride for washed-up celebrities. And that's just the beginning.
I got you. Oh, the moon. You guys, I will have to tell you, look at the moon.
Doing a whole bunch of nothing.
Watching her
Look, I brought my little butterfly.
But wait, it gets worse. Apparently, the writers are weaving Katy's desperate PR spin into a larger storyline about celebrity meltdowns in space. Think emotional breakdowns, fake hero moments, and a ruthless takedown of the entire idea that going to space somehow redeems a struggling career. If this sounds savage, it is. And knowing Trey and Matt, they're not going to pull any punches.
Someone went to space for like 4 minutes. What is she kissing the ground for? Pointing up at the sky.
Katy! Woo!
And to the guy, woo, Katy, yeah. Dumb, bro.
And here's a kicker. Insiders claim that Katy Perry herself is already aware that South Park is circling. Some sources even suggest her team tried to get ahead of the episode by planning positive PR moves, more inspirational posts, more charity work, and even talks about a follow-up project to reframe her public image. But behind the scenes, panic, absolute panic.
along with PR experts who are claiming the singer may face career extinction.
Meanwhile, South Park production team is reportedly having a blast. Animators have been dropping cryptic hints online, posting rocket emoji space helmets, and not so subtle references to fake hero journeys. It's clear they know exactly how big this episode could be, and judging by how the internet's already buzzing, Katy Perry's Blue Origin mission might end up being remembered for all the wrong reasons.
The worst part is when
there's people starving in other countries and we're clapping and cheering. Like, bro, this is wild. And then Katy Perry steps out, starts kissing the ground. Bro, the stories write themselves. Like, we are living in a Black Mirror episode. Like, what is this, bro?
So what exactly will South Park unleash on Katy Perry? Will it be another savage cultural moment like they did with Tom Cruise? Or something even worse right now? All we know is it's coming fast. And if you thought the memes after her flight were bad, just wait. South Park is about to turn Katy's space disaster into television history.
Let's not minimize this. Let's celebrate female astronauts.
That's the other thing. There has been female astronauts.
Let's not minimize this.
Take up space!
Their message for women was take up space. You guys are taking up too much space already.
But Katy's space saga doesn't end there. In fact, what happened after the rocket landed may be even more shocking than the flight itself, when a pop icon takes an 11-minute joyride on a billionaire spacecraft and returns acting like she just crossed galaxies. You know it's going to get weird. Behind-the-scenes whispers say Jeff Bezos wasn't exactly thrilled with the aftermath of Katy Perry's Blue Origin mission. And no, it wasn't just the endless memes. It was something much bigger insiders close to. The situation claimed that Katy's emotional post-like behavior, the dramatic speeches, the cosmic symbolism, the public tears turned what was supposed to be a history-making achievement into a memory-worthy meltdown. One source even said that Bezos privately joked at an event that next time he'd rather launch Snoop Dogg into space. At least then people will be laughing with a mission, not at it at first. The all-female Blue Origin flight featuring Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez was hyped as a massive step forward for women's visibility in space exploration. It was supposed to inspire a new generation, a glittering moment of empowerment. But once the dust and the rocket settled, the mission's image took a nosedive. The narrative shifted from history made to PR stunt exposed. And Katy found herself caught right in the center of the backlash. Those close to Blue Origin say that internally Bezos was deeply frustrated. What he hoped would be remembered as a dignified or inspiring moment had spiraled into a cringe-worthy spectacle. Instead of promoting innovation and scientific achievement, the event became a playground for viral jokes about celebrity egos and performative empowerment. At a gathering shortly after the flight, Bezos reportedly made a telling comment delivered with a smile but carrying a sharp edge, suggesting that next time he'd pick someone who could actually land the right tone with the public. His offhand mention of Snoop Dogg wasn't just a joke, it reflected a real concern that space tourism had become too much about celebrity image and not enough about genuine exploration. Meanwhile, Katy didn't slow down. Her post-flight media blitz was filled with poetic speeches about Earth's beauty, love, resilience, complete with a now infamous daisy symbol. Every interview, every Instagram post was polished to perfection. But rather than stirring hearts, it stirred eye rolls. Audiences saw it not as a heartfelt transformation, but as an overproduced performance. The latest example of celebrity trying to manufacture depth in a world craving authenticity, and the internet had unleashed its full force. Katy's speeches were clipped, meme parroted, her emotional moments remixed with laugh tracks and sci-fi sound effects. Even big brands got in on the mockery. Wendy's roasted her, meme accounts exploded with content. Suddenly Katy's Space Odyssey wasn't seen as brave or groundbreaking, it was a punchline of a cultural joke. Internally, Blue Origin began scrambling. Conversations about future flights reportedly shifted. Should they keep using celebrities at all? Should space travel be left to real pioneers, not VIP tourists chasing hashtags? Sources suggest that the backlash around Katy's trip forced Blue Origin to completely rethink how they'd market future missions and who they'd invite. And while Katy continued to post about her spiritual awakening, public trust in the mission's sincerity crumbled. Critics argue that inspiration can't be bought in it. Certainly can't be staged in a billion-dollar capsule built for Instagram moments. Katy's efforts to reframe herself as a cosmic visionary only made the backlash grow louder. But if you thought it couldn't get worse, it did. The FAA later clarified that none of the flight's participants, including Katy, actually qualified as astronaut. To earn that title, you had to perform essential flight duties. Katy and her fellow passengers, they were just along for the ride, and that single announcement popped the last remaining bubble of credibility surrounding the whole event. Memes erupted again. Katy kissing the ground post-landing was photoshopped into disaster zones, movie scenes, even alien invasions. The internet wasn't just laughing, it was howling. And as if to twist the knife a little deeper, Martha Stewart casually posted a throwback of her own zero-gravity experience from years earlier. No fanfare, no hashtags, just effortless cool. The contrast was brutal. The space mission that was originally marketed as a groundbreaking leap for women's empowerment ended up feeling painfully hollow to a wide audience. Instead of putting the spotlight on female scientists, engineers, or pioneers who have dedicated their lives to space exploration, it placed celebrities front and center, decked out in expensive flight suits, playing pretend in a carefully crafted spectacle. The glaring disconnect became hard to ignore rather than celebrating real progress. The mission looked like an exclusive club for the ultra-wealthy, thinly veiled in the language of empowerment. Instead of inspiring future generations of girls to dream about careers in STEM, it sent a message that only the rich and famous get to touch the stars. Lauren Sanchez's cheerful comment that we're all in this together, delivered with a smile from the safety of a billionaire-backed capsule, felt especially tone-deaf when compared to the everyday struggles of the public. For most people grappling with rising rents, mounting debts, and a shaky economy, the idea that they were allied with multimillionaire celebrities taking luxury space rides rang as pure fantasy, a disconnect so wide it bordered on parody rather than feeling united. Many viewers felt alienated, frustrated, and even insulted by the sheer audacity of the messaging. The dream of democratizing space exploration was overshadowed by the harsh reality. Access to the final frontier was still being hoarded by the richest of the rich, packaged for PR and sold back to the public as progress. Critics even coined the term for the fiasco of feminism, a biting fusion of faux feminism and tourism, describing the phenomenon where lofty ideals of empowerment are filtered through a glossy lens of fantasy, luxury, and corporate marketing. It wasn't about breaking barriers or shattering ceilings. It was about creating the illusion of progress wrapped in designer space suits and accompanied by multi-million-dollar PR campaigns. Instead of spotlighting genuine achievements by women who have battled adversity to make real strides in science, engineering, or exploration, the spectacle showcased celebrities on an exclusive trip financed by billionaires, masquerading as a historic moment. To many observers, it felt less like true empowerment and more like an extravagant influencer getaway, thinly disguised as social progress. The contrast between the mission's initial messaging and its actual execution became impossible to ignore. What was intended to inspire millions instead left many feeling alienated, frustrated, and deeply skeptical of the motives behind it. In the end, feminism became the perfect term for a movement that promised history, but delivered little more than a photo op at the edge of space, and the hits just kept on coming. Katy's once earnest poetic musings were ruthlessly clipped, twisted, and layered with auto-tune, transforming her heartfelt reflections into viral remixes that painted her as an autophage caricature. The internet, always quick to pound, seized on her overly polished delivery, remixing her speeches into absurd sound bites that flooded TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram feeds worldwide. The edits range from mildly mocking to downright brutal, and even some of Katy's longtime supporters couldn't help but cringe. Memes featuring her daisy of resilience spiraled into bizarre parodies, pairing her emotional words with scenes from cartoons, video games, and comedy skits. It became impossible to scroll without stumbling across yet another satirical take on her cosmic epiphany. Even loyal fans, the ones who had supported her through every album cycle and media reinvention, started asking tough questions. Had the stardust finally gone to Katy's head? Was this the same grounded artist they once admired, or had fame, privilege, and a thirst for reinvention lifted her so high above everyday reality that she could no longer see how she was being perceived back on Earth? Instead of rallying support or sparking meaningful conversations, Katy's post-pace odyssey narrative was devoured by a social media machine eager to chew up anything that reeked of inauthenticity. The very story she had tried to control was slipping further and further from her grasp with every remix, meme, and viral sound clip. By the time the FAA stripped away the astronaut label, the damage to Katy's rebranding campaign was undeniable and irreversible. Her grand post-flight narrative, once carefully crafted with visions of resilience and personal transformation, lay in shambles. The daisy symbol, which he had proudly presented as an emblem of endurance and rebirth, became something entirely different in the hands of the internet. It floated endlessly through memes and satirical posts, no longer inspiring strength, but embodying the very idea of empty performative marketing. Social media turned her daisy into a symbol of misguided celebrity ambition, a shorthand for campaigns that tried to manufacture authenticity but fell flat in front of an audience that demanded the real thing. Instead of admiration, Katy's Daisy now sparked jokes, parodies, and countless viral posts dissecting how badly the narrative had missed its mark. It served as a stark reminder that no matter how beautiful or well-meaning the symbol, it couldn't mask the hollowness underneath. When authenticity was nowhere to be found in the end, what was meant to represent a personal evolution instead marked a cultural cautionary tale showing just how quickly modern audiences can dismantle a carefully polished facade. When it doesn't resonate with the truth, they are hungry for. Katy didn't just go to space, she unintentionally wrote a cautionary tale on how not to market authenticity in a hyper-aware world. The public frustration wasn't rooted in jealousy or cynicism about her opportunity. It stemmed from the way the journey was presented to them. Instead of feeling like they were witnessing a true breakthrough, audiences were bombarded with a carefully staged narrative that felt detached from reality. What was heralded as a historic leap for womankind quickly unraveled into a glittery exclusive elevator ride, a spectacle designed to benefit the few on board while leaving the millions watching from Earth feeling excluded, disconnected, and unimpressed. The emotional speeches, the polished social media rollout, the over-the-top symbolism, it all contributed to a sense of artificiality that people could spot from a mile away rather than inspiring, or it highlighted the growing divide between celebrity culture and genuine human achievement. What could have been a universal moment of inspiration ended up feeling more like a marketing stunt, complete with designer spackets and prepackaged sound bites. And in today's world where audiences crave authenticity more than ever, that miscalculation costs dearly, because when everything is branded as historic, nothing truly feels historic anymore. The word loses its weight, the meaning dissolves, and audiences grow numb to the constant stream of self. Congratulations, true milestones aren't forged in marketing rooms or Instagram captions. They are built through grueling perseverance, untold hardships, and moments of raw courage that can't be bought or staged. Real history demands real sacrifice, late nights, impossible odds, and a kind of dedication that leaves scars, not headlines. It crafted by pioneers who risk everything, not influencers seeking another notch in their brand portfolios. When billionaires sponsor flights dressed up as world-changing moments and luxury hashtags flood timelines, the soul of true exploration is drowned out by noise. Audiences know the difference. They can feel when something's authentic and when it's not, and when they see glossy PR stunts trying to pass as world-shaking events they don't celebrate, they roll their eyes, because deep down we all crave the kind of stories that remind us what humanity is truly capable of, not another packaged, polished, and overhyped spectacle masquerading as greatness. Katy reached for the stars, hoping to rewrite her narrative and ascend to new heights, both literally and metaphorically. For a brief moment, it seemed like she might just succeed. A pop icon transformed into a cosmic trailblazer. The rocket saw, the cameras rolled, and the headlines cheered, but reality, as it often does, had a harsher story to tell, because back here on Earth, away from the polished PR sound bites and curated social media posts, authenticity still reigned supreme. No amount of altitude, no perfectly staged landing, no rehearsed spiritual reflections can substitute for genuine sincerity. While Katy floated above the clouds, public trust stayed firmly grounded, waiting for something real. And when it didn't come, the cheers quickly turned to chuckles. In the end, it wasn't the journey through space that defined Katy Perry's legacy. It was a way she tried to script the aftermath, and the public, wise to the artifice, chose to celebrate something far rarer than a celebrity in a spacesuit: the simple, undeniable power of authenticity. If you want more celebrity takedowns and death, cultural commentary, and the untold stories behind Hollywood's biggest and most embarrassing flops, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. We dive deep into the headlines to bring you the stories the mainstream media often glosses over. And trust us, there's always more beneath the surface than meets the eye. From viral meltdowns to reputation-destroying disasters, we're here to expose the real consequences of celebrity culture gone wrong. Don't miss out on our weekly deep dive, behind-the-scenes scoops, and sharp analysis that cuts through the hype. And we want to hear from you too. Tell us in the comments, did Katy's cosmic journey inspire you to reach for your dreams, or did it make you want to binge watch real space documentaries to cleanse your timeline? Share your thoughts. We're reading every single